February 1948. The location was the Strait of Malacca, the very same graveyard where decades later, Flight MH370 would vanish from the radar forever. This narrow strip of water between Malaysia and Indonesia is a choke point, a place where thousands of ships pass, carrying the world's fortune and its secrets. On that particular day, the weather was unsettlingly clear. The sea was silent. The wind was dead. It was the kind of calm that whispers of a coming storm. Several American and British vessels were navigating these waters. Everything seemed routine until suddenly their radios picked up a signal that froze the blood of every operator. Welcome back to Whispers of Mystery. The signal they received wasn't a voice. It was Morse code, a frantic, desperate tapping cutting through the static. Morse code is old school, but reliable. It cuts through atmospheric interference where human voices fail. But the message that came through was the stuff of nightmares. It began with the universal cry for help. 3 dots, 3 dashes, 3 dots. SOS repeated twice. Then followed a terrifying identification. The message decoded, SOS. From the steamship SS Ourang Medan, we request contact with a doctor immediately. Please respond on shortwave. This was the first message. Before the receiving ships could even triangulate the position, a second message tapped through, chillingly precise. It read, all officers, including the captain, are dead. Lying in the chart room and bridge, probably whole crew dead. Do not send medical help. Send a warship. A floating vessel had suddenly turned into a floating tomb. What could kill an entire crew so quickly? Then came the final transmission. The hand tapping the key must have been shaking. It was incomplete. Just 2 final words. I die. And then, silence. A long, heavy, deafening silence. The SS Ourang Medan had gone dark. The operator was gone. Other ships frantically tapped back, demanding a response. But the void offered no reply. The ocean had swallowed their voices. The nearest vessel was an American merchant ship, the Silver Star. Its captain made the brave decision to turn around and race toward the origin of the signal. They didn't know if they were heading into a trap, a pirate attack, or something far worse. They were sailing directly into a mystery. After hours of tense navigation, a shape emerged from the haze. It was the SS Ourang Medan. The sight was confusing. The ship wasn't sinking. It wasn't listing. It was floating perfectly, seemingly undamaged. But it was dead in the water. No smoke rose from the stacks. No movement on the decks. Just a massive steel beast drifting aimlessly on the currents of the Malacca Strait. The Silver Star hailed them. Sirens, whistles, shouts. But the only response was the sound of waves lapping against the hull. The silence was louder than any scream. A boarding party was assembled. As they rowed across the gap between the ships, a sense of dread settled over them. The air felt colder near the Ourang Medan. They climbed the ladder. As the first sailor stepped onto the deck, he froze. The scene that awaited them was something out of a nightmare. The deck was littered with corpses, but these weren't ordinary bodies. It was the way they had died that stopped the rescue team in their tracks. Every single face was locked in a rictus of sheer terror. Eyes wide open, staring at the sun, mouths agape, as if screaming their final breath. Their bodies were rigid, frozen in defensive postures, arms outstretched, hands clawed, as if they were trying to push away some invisible, horrific entity. On the bridge, the captain was dead at the helm. The other officers lay scattered across the floor. Death had taken them all in a single instant. Even the ship's dog wasn't spared. It was frozen mid-snarl, teeth bared at an empty corner of the deck. Whatever they saw, the dog saw it too. The most baffling part? There wasn't a single drop of blood. No wounds. No signs of struggle. No blunt force trauma. They had simply ceased to exist. The team made their way to the radio room. Inside, they found the operator. He was slumped over his desk, his hand still on the telegraph key. He died sending that final warning. I die. His eyes, like the others, were wide open, filled with an inexplicable horror. The atmosphere on the ship was oppressive. The rescue team felt they were being watched. They decided they had to get off this cursed vessel immediately. They decided to tow the ship to the nearest port for a proper investigation. They attached tow lines, hoping to drag the mystery back to civilization. But the SS Ourang Medan had one final secret to keep. Moments after the lines were attached, wisps of black smoke began to curl up from cargo hold number 4. The smoke turned into a raging fire within seconds. The intensity was unnatural. The boarding party cut the lines and scrambled back to their lifeboats. They rowed for their lives, putting as much distance as possible between themselves and the burning ghost ship. Just as they reached the Silver Star, the Ourang Medan erupted. A massive explosion lifted the steel hull out of the water. In moments, the ship broke apart. With a final groan of twisting metal, the SS Ourang Medan sank beneath the waves, taking its dead crew and its secrets to the bottom. Gone. No evidence remained. No logbooks, no bodies, no ship. Only the eyewitness testimony of the Silver Star crew remained to prove it ever happened. Because of the lack of physical evidence, the world was skeptical. Many dismissed it as a sailor's tall tale, a campfire ghost story. Investigators checked the Lloyd's Register of Shipping. They found nothing. No ship named SS Ourang Medan was officially registered anywhere in the world. Was it a phantom ship? A ghost that never existed? Skeptics said yes, but maritime historians point to a darker reality of the post-war era. This was 1948. World War II had just ended. The seas were full of unregistered vessels smuggling illicit cargo, weapons, and war criminals. In 1954, a Dutch newspaper published a series of articles claiming to have found a survivor, a man who confirmed the ship was real, and it was carrying death. The theory suggests the ship was unregistered because it was on a covert smuggling run, a mission so secret it didn't exist on paper. The mystery deepened decades later. In May 2003, the CIA declassified a batch of secret documents. Buried within them was a file on the Ourang Medan. A letter dated 1958, written to the director of the CIA, discussed the incident seriously. It suggested that solving this case could explain other maritime disappearances. Why was the CIA interested in a ghost story 10 years after it happened? Unless the story wasn't a ghost story at all. The CIA document lends credibility to the most terrifying and most logical theory of all, the cargo of death. The theory links the ship to the infamous Unit 731, a covert branch of the Japanese Imperial Army that conducted horrific biological and chemical experiments. After the war, American authorities seized much of this research. It is believed the Ourang Medan was smuggling these dangerous materials to the U.S. The cargo manifest allegedly included potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin, two extremely volatile substances. Experts believe that seawater entered the cargo hold. When salt water mixes with potassium cyanide, it creates a deadly reaction. It releases hydrogen cyanide gas, an invisible, odorless killer. It would have surged through the ventilation system, reaching every corner of the ship. This gas works by preventing the body from using oxygen. It causes immediate cellular suffocation. The crew was dead before they knew what hit them. This explains the lack of blood and wounds. But what about the terror? Why did they look so scared? Imagine the sensation. Suddenly, you cannot breathe. Your body panics. You gasp for air, but nothing happens. The terror of imminent death freezes on your face. The dog, lower to the ground, would have smelled it or felt the effects first, snarling at an invisible enemy that was actually the air itself. And the explosion? Nitroglycerin is notoriously unstable. If not stored perfectly, a slight bump or temperature change can detonate it. The fire the rescue team saw was likely the chemicals reacting. The final explosion was the nitroglycerin blowing the ship to pieces, erasing all evidence. It's a perfect explanation. It accounts for the dead crew, the lack of injuries, the fire, and the explosion. It fits, almost too perfectly. But it doesn't explain everything. It doesn't explain the overwhelming feeling of cold dread reported by the Silver Star crew. They didn't just report dead bodies, they reported a presence, a feeling that something was watching them from the shadows. And the crew's defensive postures, hands raised to shield themselves. You don't raise your hands to fight a gas. You raise your hands to fight a monster. Could the cargo have been something else? Something recovered from ancient temples or cursed grounds during the war? The Strait of Malacca has a long history of piracy and violence. Locals believe the waters are haunted by centuries of drowned souls. Was the SS Ourang Medan a victim of science gone wrong? Or did they stumble upon something paranormal in the deep, dark sea? The Silver Star crew never forgot that day. The image of the frozen, screaming faces haunted their dreams for the rest of their lives. To this day, no official wreck has been located. The ocean is vast and deep, and it keeps its secrets well. Modern ships still pass through those same coordinates. Some sailors claim that on quiet, moonless nights, they hear faint distress signals. A ghostly tapping of Morse code drifting on the wind. SOS, I die. A warning from the past. So, where do you stand? Was it a lethal cocktail of Unit 731 chemicals and bad luck? Or was it a vengeful force from the abyss? The CIA keeping the file classified for 50 years suggests a cover-up. Governments don't hide ghost stories, they hide blunders. If the chemical theory is true, the US and Dutch governments were complicit in a smuggling operation that killed dozens of men. These sailors were likely unaware of what they were carrying. They were innocent pawns in a dangerous post-war game. Their final moments were filled with unimaginable confusion and pain, betrayed by their own cargo. The SS Ourang Medan remains one of the greatest maritime mysteries of the 20th century, a puzzle with missing pieces. We may never know the full truth. The evidence has been burned, sunk, and buried under red tape. But the story serves as a grim reminder. The ocean is a dangerous place. It is indifferent to human life and human secrets. When you are out there, miles from land, you are at the mercy of the elements and whatever lies within the cargo hold. You are watching whispers of mystery, and we are just scratching the surface. Let's look deeper at the timeline. The Silver Star was real. Its logbooks confirm the route. The rescue attempt happened. The Grace Line, owners of the Silver Star, never officially denied the encounter, though they remained tight-lipped about the details. The listening posts that picked up the SOS were British and Dutch. Multiple independent witnesses heard the death cry. The location is key. The Strait of Malacca is infamous for strange phenomena and disappearances. It is a vortex of high maritime activity. If we accept the nerve gas theory, it explains the frozen state. Nerve agents cause muscles to contract and lock. A sudden, massive dose would cause instant rigor mortis like stiffness. The defensive hand positions could be spasms. But science struggles to explain the sheer uniformity of the terror. Every single man? Even the dog? Animals are often the first to sense danger. Did the dog smell the gas, or did it see an intruder? Could it have been pirates? Pirates often raided ships in this area, but pirates steal cargo. They don't leave a ship floating. And pirates leave wounds, bullet holes, knife marks. The lack of violence on the bodies rules out a standard pirate raid. The CIA letter remains the strongest link to reality. Why would a high-level official discuss a myth in a classified memo? It implies that the US government knew the SS Ourang Medan was real, and they knew exactly what happened to it. The destruction of the ship was convenient. It erased the mistake. No ship, no crime. The ocean is the perfect accomplice. It hides the evidence forever. We are left with a story that sits on the razor's edge between a war crime and a ghost story. And perhaps that is why it terrifies us. Because both possibilities are equally horrific. The SS Ourang Medan is a reminder of the fragility of man against the elements. We build ships of steel, but we are made of flesh. We think we have conquered the seas, but the seas still hold the power to swallow us whole, leaving no trace. To the sailors who lost their lives on that fateful day in 1948, we offer this memory. Their final message was heard, even if it wasn't understood. I die, 2 words that echo through history. A final testament to a horror we can only imagine. Now, I turn the investigation over to you, the viewer. What do you believe happened that night? Was it a chemical leak from a secret smuggling operation? Or was it something supernatural that stopped the hearts of the crew? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I read every single one. Do you think the CIA knows the truth? If you enjoy diving into the unknown, if you crave the stories that keep you up at night, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for whispers of mystery. Join our community of truth seekers. Like this video if it sent a chill down your spine, and share it with a friend who loves a good mystery.